The green sheet of paper, which has many colors, summarizes the campaign that I'm leading. It's called the SAVE campaign. The SAVE campaign is a campaign that was started by religious leaders living with or personally affected by HIV. At first, we used to approach HIV and AIDS using the entry point of ABC. That is what we had to fight AIDS. And you'd hear many church people say, if you can't abstain and you can't be faithful, use condoms. Of course, some people would not write, would put a small C, but the many women in Africa challenged us and said, and the young girls said, we don't think that this ABC is going to work for us. And we said, what do you mean? They said, every time we want to abstain, our abstinence choices are not respected by our male spouses, our male friends. And even when we are faithful in marriage, we are still infected on the marital bed. And when we choose to use condoms, the men don't want. So none of the options really is in our control. So we were, and then there were the children who were born with HIV, who also came and said, we are abstinent, we are virgins, but we are HIV positive. And then came issues of mother-to-child transmission, preventing mother-to-child transmission. Then there came the issues of health care in infrastructure, research saying that if you are a doctor in Zambia, you are 15 times more at risk of being infected than a doctor in France. Meaning that there was a lot of non-sexual transmissions happening in Africa, and we needed to find a message of addressing that. Then there were, of course, the people who are positive who are saying, even when the condoms are there, we cannot use them because we are so stigmatized that every time we want to go for a condom, they say, oh, these are the people who have failed to abstain. Those are people who have failed to be faithful. So we designed a new way of looking at this thing, and we said, if you want to restore agency to young people and help them to become agents for change and restore power, you reduce SIDIM, which is in that song I've given you, and then you do another one, you multiply, SAVE. So that is the SAVE campaign, which is summarized for you there. SIDIM is stigma, shame. The shame leads to denial. The denial leads to discrimination. Those are four lead to inaction. People do nothing because they tend to think this is not our problem. This is a disease of prostitutes, truck drivers, homosexuals. So we have nothing to do with this. So, but others who attempt to do something, they do it wrongly. We call that misaction. When you've taken a flight, to go somewhere like to Nairobi from Washington, and then after 12 hours of flight, you see a poster saying, welcome to New Jersey, You've done something, but it has not produced what you wanted to do. Now, this SAVE is safe practices, and we are very clear that the safe practices are not vertical. They are horizontal, that there is no practice that is better than the other. It only depends on which context you are. It's like you cannot say an airplane is better than a car, or you cannot say a car is better than a boat. No, they serve different purposes according to where you are. So abstinence could be a very good option for people who are single or have chosen to remain alone, or but if they are announcing in church that you are getting wedded tomorrow, then you should know that the abstinence strategy is going to fail on your first day of marriage. So Otherwise, people will say, no, you have not consummated the marriage, so bring back the certificate. So you should be thinking of, after I have graduated from abstinence, what am I going to do? I will test, and I will use condoms, and then I will remain mutually faithful, or I will use condoms. So PMTCT, safe blood, as you see them on your issues. This one is access to treatment and nutrition. Voluntary, routine, and stigma-free counseling and testing. And this one is very, very important, empowerment. Empowerment of young people, empowerment of children, empowerment of men, empowerment of families, communities, and nations that are AIDS challenged, that are vulnerable to the epidemic. So, I think even if you forgot everything else I've said today, just if someone said, how do you restore agency to young people in order to make them AIDS competent, then you say you reduce the seeding, you multiply the save, and you produce AIDS competent, spiritually empowered, gainfully skilled, productively employed, social justice sensitive young people who are leaders and can help their countries and communities to engage AIDS.